What's up, you guys? My birthday is on April 1st, and I'm going to be 38 years old. And before I turned 38, I wanted to make a fun video. My first idea was to take all the April Fool babies and see if I would invite them to my party or not. I went on to famousbirthdays.com and the list was just, it wasn't very good, and I didn't know half of them, so I scratched that idea. Then I thought, why don't you do something with fellow 37-year-olds and do something with that? I looked up famous people that died at 37 and thought, I'll do that instead. But the majority of the people I would love to have at my birthday party, so I had to tweak it a little bit. A lot of these famous 37-year-olds died in like the 1400s because that was a ripe old age back then. And I don't know why, but I thought, could I beat up a lot of these people? I'm not a violent man. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And I was playing with it. I was like, do I do the who could I take in a fight, or who would I invite to my birthday party? Anyway, I posted this on Instagram and 408 people voted. 392 said do the fight, and 16 or 4% said no. So I will see 392 of you in hell. Boom ba-dum 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 boom ba-dum 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 ba-dum. If this were a paint-off competition, our first challenger would wipe the floor with me, or canvas rather, because he painted. Named after the popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Raphael Sanzio, or Raphael as we all know him, was a key figure in the High Renaissance. The period in the late 1400s when Italian artists were like, hey, look how f***ing talented we are at sculpting and painting on ceilings. Born either March 28th or April 6th, 1483, I don't know how those two dates got mixed up. Raphael became a professional painter at the age of 17, so he's obviously skilled with his hands. He was also known to have had multiple affairs with various women, so skilled with his hands. This was actually one of the suspected ways that he died. Quote, from exhaustion brought on by unceasing romantic interests. He died from syphilis. Could I take him? I think I could. I know I could. I don't know. He feels like a really classy guy, so maybe we would have one of those like slap fights. I'd still destroy him, but at least I wouldn't mess up his beautiful features. He looks like someone painted Timothy Chalamet as like a cherub with his little soft baby face. Don't you just want to like just do that? Anyway, I'm giving myself the win. Raphael was clearly a lover and not a fighter, and the only chance he would stand with me is if he had a pair of sais. As a Ninja Turtle joke. Sam, make sure that you edit a sigh right here. Our next challenger is the lead singer of the Australian rock band In Excess, Michael Hutchence. If you don't know who they are, they did, I know you've heard the song. They did I Need You Tonight. I need you tonight. You usually hear their songs at like dentists and stuff. They're a good band. Also, they did New Sensation. You've heard that in commercials. New sensation, new sensation. Anyway, Michael Hutchence, big old glass of water, known for being seductive on and off stage, but also being quite the bad boy. You bad boy, Michael? Huh? You bad boy? Yeah, you are. If your name's Michael, I'm really sorry, by the way. The handsome frontman dated supermodels, dabbled in drugs, and got into public brawls, but for the most part, he had a handle on the rock star life until 1992 when he was assaulted by a taxi driver and bonked his head, fracturing his skull. I shouldn't say bonked his head, I should say he hit his head really hard on the concrete. He didn't go to a doctor until a few days later, and by the time he went, he had some brain damage that made him really aggressive and moody for the last 5 years of his life. On that note, I'm losing this one. Bad. This man would take me out, and I wish it was dinner. I would be, all right, so we would be at a bar, and I would accidentally bump into him, and he'd be like, "Oi, mate, watch where you're going." And I'd be like, "Why don't you watch where I'm going?" And he'd be like, "Let's take this outside then." And I'd be like, "All right, let's go." Thought you'd never ask. And we'd go outside, and we would be in the alley, and it'd be pouring rain, and he'd throw himself at me and I would slip because it's wet, and he would get on top of me and he'd really put everything he's got, just all of his strength, the fire deep inside him, just releasing with each blow. One day I'll die as well, and the only thing that will be left of me are memories, photos, and the things that I've created. So I need to just remember that before I talk. Our next challenger is Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette, the famous last queen of France, who was married to King Louis the 27th. Louis, one of the Louis. They're all awful. All the royal family, just awful time, all bad, all unnecessary. Why do we still have them? What's the point? What do they do? What are they doing? What do they actually do? Sorry. So in a nutshell, this awful royal couple spent a ton of money on clothes and jewelry and parties or whatever, while the people they ruled were not having a good time with wars going on, and they wanted political reform and the economy and the violence, all stuff that we are going through today. And they wanted change. So they chopped her head off, and hubby, because that's what they did back then. They were just doing that. Would I win in a fight? Yes. I don't think it would be fun or fair. I think she would just kind of take it and just, I'm coming at her with my little bony fists, and she's like, oh my, oh. I don't know why she's Australian, but she is, oh no. And then it's like, it's over. I win. Actually, I think I'd probably do a slap contest with her as well. I feel like people in the 1400s were just more fragile back then, and I would hate to serve her some knuckle muffins. All right. So I'm going to go off script here. I have a script that I kind of glance at. I don't even have one for Vincent Van Gogh. I started his Wikipedia thinking that it would be like a fun matchup, like we both have nice beards, we're both Aries, we both have spent time in a psych ward, I like painting, I'm not good at it, but his life was sad. I almost cried. Did you guys know everything? Like what happened with this? I can't fight this guy. I don't think that I could fight him. I would take him, but I morally can't. All Vinny wanted to do in life was paint. This guy just wanted to paint and live life. And he had problems with alcohol. He had insomnia. He was poor. He had all of these like mental breakdowns. He would like wake up in mental hospitals and try to go home, and he wouldn't be allowed back in his home because the family he was staying with was like, hey man, you're crazy. And then he would like live with his brother, and he just was not having a good time. Do you know what the last words this man said on earth was? This sadness will last forever. And again, I could take this guy. I could take him. But can I say that I would beat Vincent Van Gogh in a fight? Yeah, I could. Yes, I would. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be kind of a humorous, educational video. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I can't fight. I could. I just can't. You know what I mean? Our next challenger, our next opponent, is Christa McAuliffe. All right, I'm sorry. This is going to be kind of wholesome, I promise. Just bear with me. All right, Christa was selected to become the first teacher to fly in space. And while she was up there, she was going to do science experiments and teach children all across the country about space travel. She went through all the training with the other astronauts, and everything was great. The country was excited for this group of wonderful people to go into outer space. And I'm sorry. I decided I was going to play Connect 4 with Christa because right? So that's what I did. I set the computer to the most difficult setting because I feel like Christa wouldn't be an easy mode or medium mode type of gal. She's a critical thinker, and they wouldn't send an easy mode person up into space. Anyway, we did like 5 rounds, and I tried really hard, and she won every single time. Good game, Christa. Good game. Jason Mizell, aka Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, I'm gonna lose this one, aren't I? Was responsible for bringing hip hop into the mainstream. Jason grew up playing bass, guitar, drums, and the trumpet, but at the age of 10, he turned to turntables. Turntables caught his attention. In the early 80s, he joined Run and DMC. Get it? Run DMC? It's both the guys. All right. He became their DJ, and from there, they sold millions of records. They collaborated with Aerosmith to fuse rock and rap somehow, and they changed music history. Murdered in 2002 over drugs by some dealers, Jam Master Jay's legacy lives on through his music, as well as the Scratch DJ Academy he founded, where you can become a DJ yourself. It's like DJ school, and they have online classes. It's pretty cool. So who wins in a fight? Me or Jam Master Jay? This guy or this guy? My next challenger is a brilliant comedian that I used to love. I still do, but I used to too. Mitch Hedberg was the king of surreal humor and non sequiturs, and he was decades ahead of his time. His one-liners and absurd observations would have made him perfect for Twitter. I mean, back when it was, like fun, not now.
I like Kit Kats unless I'm with 4 or more people.
Mitch had spots on late night shows and a few comedy specials, but he was not around long enough to be appreciated the way he deserves to be. An overdose took him in 2005, and no one did it like Mitch. He had such a unique cadence and delivery. It would have made more sense that he was from another planet than Minnesota. All right, I know I promised fighting, but this one is a draw. Mitch and I are not fighting. I feel like right before we started to fight, he would say something like, "Hey man, why don't we just play a game of tic-tac-toe instead? That way, I think we will bleed less." And we do just that. I could probably take him though, just because of his sloth-like demeanor, but I would refuse. They called this man the Iron Horse because of his durability and power as a hitter in baseball. Sam, when you edit, put a little baseball bat there too. All right, good job. Lou Gehrig was known for setting all kinds of records as a baseball player with the New York Yankees and still holds some of those records to this day, almost 85 years later. Famous for playing over 2,130 consecutive games before having to end his career due to an ALS diagnosis, a disease that was so rare at the time it became known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Mr. Gehrig died just 2 years later, but considered himself, quote, the luckiest man on the face of the earth for getting to do what he loved as long as he did. So the question is, would the 6-foot-tall, 200-pound man known as the Iron Horse beat me in a fight? Does a bear shit in the woods? Is the Pope Catholic? Is the sky blue? And so on and so forth. All right, that was it. Did you like it? I hope you did. Anyway, I didn't write an ending or anything. I just I got done with the script and I closed Microsoft Word and I started to move my computer back and then I was like, I didn't say bye. So bye. Thank you for watching though, seriously. And if you did say happy birthday, thank you very much. If you didn't, what's your problem, man? You want to fight? You want to fight in the 38-year-old one? I should do a 38-year-old one too. Maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, see you in the next one. If I do, I don't know. I'm the world's worst YouTuber. Maybe I'll do one next year. I don't know.